Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to third episode of Sometimes Good, Sometimes Shit. I'm your host, Swazo. My co-host, as always, Devin. First round by dimes.
Yes, sir, baby. What's up? What's up? Here to make some people some money.
Yes, sir.
Are we hood riding it today? What's up?
We're hood riding. I see you got that little Saints going on right now. I got the Fins.
Of course.
I mean, we're on the downtrend, but rep home team always, baby.
You guys get Tua back.
We got a lot to talk about today. We definitely do. There's been some changes with some teams, a little bit of a shakeup in the standings. I think we have some changes amongst the MVP favorites. So let's get right into it. I'll let you start with our odds to win the South.
How about we change it up, and we're gonna go with sometimes good, sometimes shit. Right? That's our name. So let's start with sometimes good in the stud of the week. How about that? So stud of the week, we had Mr. Mark Abraham. I'm very familiar with his game. He had 20 catches, 4 touchdowns, 10 flag pulls, and 2 interceptions. Not the throwing ones, the catching ones.
So that's like 3 times his stats for the whole season in 1 week, basically.
Pretty much. And most importantly, a 3-0 from the Seahawks, which my co-host did predict. I
feel like, bro, nobody had even the slightest idea that the Seahawks could win 2 games, let alone 1. And they went away with 3, bro. 3.
That's why we're co-hosts, man. You have that vision. I love it.
I think a lot of people hate on Petey, and they say that he's old and that he's washed up and he's not as good as they say he is, and he's overrated. But in DD, the mind goes a lot further than the body in a lot of situations. And Petey's was smart enough to recognize that system that they had in place the first 2 weeks clearly wasn't working. I haven't had a chance to watch their games, to be honest, but I can only imagine that they changed what they were doing from week 1 and 2 to go 3-0 in week 3. And Petey was playing in other games because he played with the Cowboys. So he played more than 3 games, and I mean he went 3-0 in his games, and then he cost us a W when he played with the Cowboys against the Jets.
I saw that.
We tied that game, but only because he was on the field. And I'll say right here live, I got cooked by Ernie. I was talking shit on the chat when we went to Red Lobster.
Papo.
Cleared up. But guess what? All that work, and you still only tied and let up a 3-1 victory. Ooh, shit. Swazo keeps talking. That's crazy.
Swazo, that guy disrespected you on Instagram.
No, I deserved it. I deserved it. That's my dog, and I deserved it. And I'm still hearing it. I'm still hearing it. So, but whatever. I was glad. Reckless.
Personally, I would have deleted my Instagram. Anyways, so
I couldn't even repost that shit on my story.
I know, of course not. Let's talk about the dud of the week then. Let's move on to Eddie. What's up, Mickey Mouse? Oh boy.
Boy, he's in love, brother. Yeah. He was in Cinderella's castle. I don't know what he's doing. Like Biggie said, I'm happy for the guy as a human being. Amazing.
Of course.
As a football player, highly disappointed. Last year, Eddie came in and he saved the league in a difficult situation when Kevin Mujica was out. And he came in for the Rams, and it was at a point where the trade deadline would have been over. And he wasn't sure if they were going to open it for him or not. So last season, he was, Superman. This season, he is fucking anti-hero. He's Deadpooling the Chargers, bro. He's imploded that by himself and not even by their performance. It's just been they haven't had a team to put up. Poor Pablito's first experience in DD, he hasn't even had like a full team, I don't think, a single week.
Yep.
Manny C hasn't shown up. So he's leading by example. He's being a poor leader, in my opinion. And
would you say he's the dud of the year so far?
Dud of the year, 1,000%.
They should come up with that dud of the
year.
year.
Of the year so far, him and Manny they're gonna share. They're gonna split.
100%.
Manny C's played 1 out of 9 games, which is incredible.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, that's his money that he threw away. But damn, dog, I like the kid. He's a good football player. He's a good addition, and it ruins the experience for others. But whatever, that's not the point. I mean, I just think that Eddie's a better leader and football player than what this season has shown. But se lo merece the dud this week,
bro. And that says speaks volumes of DD when you're the 6th quarterback in the nation, and you're 1-7 in DD. So
man.
we don't give a shit if you're number 6 in the nation. You're fucking ninth in your conference.
You're
So
fucking cocky now here.
let's go on. Odds on the ship to win it. Talk to me. Have your favorites changed?
So I think the Bucks showed me a little bit last week when they faced adversity and they didn't perform too well. I'm sorry, not the Bucks, the 49ers. And the Bucks on the flip side, they although I don't like the whole Kevin McGee trade, I'm behind the scenes in DDPA, so I kind of understand what's going on there. And I feel like Lulu's kind of handcuffed with that situation, so he had no other choice but to make the trade, even though he lost it, just so that he can have the personnel there, and he wants to have the 6 bodies in the rotation at all times. I don't think he wants to have George Ramos on the field at all.
100%.
For any week.
That makes
and
sense.
I understand, and anybody would understand that. So they made some good moves into staying in a good position. They just we all restart the schedule, and they played really well week 1. So if history repeats itself as it's shown to in the past, then the Bucks are primed to keep themselves in those top 2 seeds, as they control their own destiny, as they say.
100%.
So I've moved them into, I don't have them as the favorite or the last. I have them actually like in third to last for the favorites at 850. I have you guys at 1,000 actually.
Oh wow. Okay. So you have the Bucks in front of us.
I have the Bucks in front of you guys just because the Lulu is the X factor, and I think you guys.
I agree. No,
although you have that squad cohesion, I don't know that you guys are gonna have the X factor as far as the shutdown guy to put on Lulu or on one of those type of guys. Although Pat and Georgie are incredible defenders, I'm not trying to take anything. But then if you ask that of them, you have to tell them both to go lock that up together. They have to work together to lock down one guy. So I just think that matchup for you guys would be a little more. I know that Georgie's a better player than Kevin, and it's arguable who's better between Brandon and Bert, because Bert isn't at his 100% that he's played in the past. So granted, right now Brandon.
No, by far Brandon is much better than Albert, but just like by far Georgie is better than Kevin. That's why it's a fair trade, and you have a lot of people that actually think we lost the trade, and we have a lot of people that think we murdered the trade.
I think
obviously
it's subjective and situation.
Agreed. Us on our end, we made the trade because we feel like we got a lot better, and obviously we feel like in our conference we don't have a lot of mobile quarterbacks. The main mobile quarterback is Derek, and he's not really that crazy mobile. And Petey is the other one. But besides that, it's guys that I could rush. So we feel that with a defense sitting with Pablo, Pat, and Georgie, and Albert in the middle, and me rushing, or vice versa, Albert rushing and me sitting in the middle on a defense against a quarterback that's like a statue, you would say, like myself or Johan, Tronky, Tommy, all of us are on the same, Josh, Drew, that don't really move as much. I feel like defensively we're not as bad as people sought out to think that we are. But it's fine, man. I mean, I guess that's the best thing about it. Everyone has their opinion, and the Ravens feel like we made an amazing trade. I know the the Jets feel like they made an amazing trade. So yeah, I'm with you. I actually moved up the Bucks and the Dolphins as the favorites. And then I have the Ravens and the Jets right behind them, very close. And as far as to win the North, right? I have the Bucks as a slight favorite over us, right? And then I have the 49ers in third. I mean, obviously you can't count that team out. I think Derek is going to make some adjustments, and he's going to have a big week. I mean, at the end of the day, this week is huge. Week 4.
Biggest week in my opinion.
Of course, I agree. The top 3 teams play each other. Like us, at least in the North side, we're in a 3-way tie for first. And it's us, the Ravens, 49ers, and the Bucks. And we play both teams,
Yeah, so that's going to shake up the standings again.
Correct. Yeah, we're gonna have a better view as to what's going on. For the South, I got the Dolphins obviously as a clear-cut favorite, and then I got tied for second, actually. I have the Jets and the Lions. And I want to talk a little bit about the Lions because I feel like no show gives them love, right? Bro, I think the Lions are sneaky good, bro. Their defense is fucking legit.
Their defense is extraordinary. However, it's difficult to.
Of course.
They leave a lot to be desired on offense. And granted, they have weapons now with Juju, AJ. That guy, Jesus, is super fast. And Clint is on that team. So they don't really have a weakness other than Tony, if you really look at it.
But I know, but
I don't know what it is that they've struggled to score so much because I mean, bro, they held us to I think like three points when we played them 2 weeks ago, our first week with the Jets, but they scored 2 points. You know, like with those players that I just mentioned. Granted, it's been personnel changes between Ross and Juju, but with Ross, Jesus, Clint, Revis, and AJ, you should be able to score at more than 2 points. You know, so it leaves a little to be desired. And Revis isn't a bad quarterback. I just think he is still getting his feet wet, and he's alternating too much between 4s and 5s to really, you know, settle into.
No, I mean, I think with enough time, Revis can take that. Like, you get me? Like, I think if Revis puts up 3 points, they win. Like, that's all Revis has to do, just put up 3 points, because I think they can hold teams to 2 points, and you know, and even less. Obviously, that team defensively is very good.
The rush on that team is huge.
Yeah, and then you don't have a weakness. You know, obviously you have Tony, but if they're starting 5, you would say have no weakness. So I have the
mismatches at all tiers in
100%
in the first 5.
100%. So, bro, I have the Lions a sneaky team to win it. I wouldn't count them out, bro. I wouldn't count them out. What about you?
What I've noticed is that they've lost close games that they need to win. I don't know if they ended up beating the Colts last week because it started pouring rain and I was on my way out. But on my way out, Revis threw a pick, and I think David ended up winning that game. I'm not 100% sure. I may be wrong. But those close games that they get into with those teams that are in 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th place, they can't come out with ties or losses in those games because those are the things that are going to come back and bite them in the ass in the last week. And when they're fighting, they end up, I need 4 W's or 3 W's and a tie to even be in there, you know, in the 4th or 5th seed because, you know, everyone just did the same as I did. You don't want to leave it where it's a big mumbo jumbo and you can't even control your own destiny because if another team, even if you won all 4 games and the other team wins 2 or 3, you're screwed. You know, you don't want to leave it. You want to definitely get the hard work out of the way and pretty much set yourself up for success after week 4 and not worry about that you know, playoff push into week 5. It's always going to happen. There's always going to be a team in the push. It's inevitable.
Of course,
you don't want to find yourself in that mix of 4 or 5 teams fighting for the last 2 to 3 spots.
Of course.
And I honestly, I see the Lions in that trajectory right now. And I've been on teams like that in the past. Last season's Raiders was kind of like that. Although we were like in 4th to 5th place the whole time, it kind of felt like, bro, we need to go 2-1 or like 3-0 every week. If not, you know, we're gonna fucking fall out of this and we're done for. And the season before también with Cheeky and AJ, it felt like, yo, we gotta
go Saints,
you know, 3-0, 4-0, 4 or you know, 3-1 max, or we're out of here every week.
You guys came up huge that week 5, I remember.
Yeah, man, we went 4-0. It was a big week. And we went 4 hard all day or 5 hard all day.
No, it's
4 hard. Yeah, Big Bert was 4 hard. That was a 4 season. Yeah. So, you know, it's a tough situation to be in, and I see that from the Lions right now. I just don't know if they'll be able to get over. This week is all it telltale. This week will be the week that tells us everything we need to know for the rest of the season. I know it's easy to say it after 4 weeks, but a lot of things will clear up.
And who do you have as favorites of the South?
South, I have it is a 2-horse race for me. It's Beaky versus Joan, Dolphins versus Jets. I think this week will indicate who
they play each other.
Yeah, we play each other, so we'll see. You know, there's a lot of back and forth. Beaky's the leader in he's in first place, and he's, you know, the guy right now. But you know, he played a completely different Jets team week 1 without Anthony Aleman. They went 5 hard. He's now playing versus Joan. Kevin, myself. It's a different game. So it's nothing like week one. It'll be a completely different game, and we'll really see who the top team in the conference is. That's our hardest game of the day, in my opinion. Even though we don't have, the hardest slate, we don't have the easiest because Fredo and the Vikings are no slouches. But I still see at the worst, that's us losing to the Dolphins. We go 2-1 this week and maintain 2 seeds. So I see us breathing, after this week lightly, and going into week 5, obviously still wanting to win games and maintain that bye. But I see the Jets and the Dolphins as the clear cut, top 2 dogs in the South to get the bye. And as you can see, my background is a metaphor for round 1 of the playoffs for me. It'll either be a bye or Joan's shipping me, and I'll be fishing. I'm going fishing. We got like about 27
24 hours.
Yeah, something like that.
So hold on tight, baby. So I'm going to start with my favorites to win MVP. I mean, so far, every show kind of feels the same. We have Beaky as the clear-cut favorite. I had Derek second, but I put Joan second now. I had him as dark horse prior to last week, as a dark horse to win the MVP. But now, obviously, I bumped him up as one of the favorites. Obviously, that 30 touchdown and 3 ratio is absurd, and he has 16. He has 16 flag pulls, which honestly is, So he's doing his job defensively. If he can bump up those stats a little bit, I think he can run away with it and come out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Beaky, if Beaky feels like he's in the conversation every year, it's like LeBron. He feels like he's in the conversation every year, and then they give it to Jokic, or Steve Nash.
Just you're an international guy to make it culture.
Yeah. So what about you?
Bro, we're on the same page, to be honest. Beaky's Beaky, man. He's gonna continue to play. It's like he mentioned today. You do what you do until you make a move, and then everyone looks back at you like you're a choke artist, you're a bum, you suck. But I don't want to discredit anything he's done any seasons, because the guy nasty. He just has to continue doing what he does, which is play football. He needs to just shut up and ball. Not worry about the refs, not worry about anything. He's skilled enough, and he has the pieces around him, in my opinion, that he shouldn't even leave it in the refs' hands. He shouldn't leave it in anything other than his skill and his ability to call plays and realistically call a defense, because he's doing both things. I'm assuming he's calling the D and calling the O. So he's gonna do everything in his power to win a star. I think he cares more about the star than the MVP, but it's gonna lead to an MVP.
I agree. I think so.
And the other two, Joan and Derek, they're just in a class above the rest right now. It's easy to say because they have the ball at the start of every offensive play. So they have the heads up on anyone who's not playing quarterback. But like you mentioned, the 30-3 ratio from Joan is out of this world. And then everyone likes to say he has no defensive stats. He's hobbling. He has 2 picks. He has flag pulls. He's doing his shit. Sure, he's not guarding captains, but we don't need him to guard captains. I mean,
correct.
We got traded, and our record doesn't indicate it, but we're 7-1-1. Joan, Steady, myself, in the season. And I mean, bro, there hasn't been a captain that's like, we lost one game that was bad, and that was against Lulu. And I'll be honest, we had no answer for him. But other than that, there's no captain that's out here or tier 2s or anything. And I'm not trying to disrespect anyone and say that, our tier 4s can cover you, or tier 3 or anything like that, because it's not the fact is just the defense has held up. I mean, we were down 3-1 versus the Cowboys, and we came back and tied it and somehow ended up with a tie game. We should have won it. We had the ball with like 50-something seconds. Andres made a great bat on the ball, and he batted Joan's attempt. So, I mean, we had the chance to win that game, but I don't think that we're as bad on defense as people think. I mean,
I think you guys are
really
solid
been
around.
beat bad by anyone, and every other game that we've won, we've either won handedly or 4-2. I don't know that we've been in many 4-3 games that we've won, to be honest. So I think that they're underestimating it, and he gets a bad rap because he's Joan, and I get it. I know he talks a lot, and he has to back up his word, and people are always going to attack the top dog. But bro, his play speaks for itself. You know,
100%.
it is what it is. And
100%.
Derek is Derek. You know, he has the tools around him. He has Joff, his son. He has Ham. So he's going to continue to make plays. I know he made a few mistakes, but I think he'll be back this week and he'll bounce hard.
Any dark horses that you have?
We got one dark horse. I think we're on the same page with this. Mr. Lulu himself, the guy is he's in like top 5 for like every category, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't think there's much we need to talk about Lulu other than he's a fucking freak of nature and he doesn't get tired and he just is gonna do what Lulu does.
Just keeps going.
High energy, offense, defense, both sides, calling it, leadership, skills, everything. And then he's got, you know, Tronky that he doesn't have to worry about calling offense. So
of course.
that helps. I think he's the dark horse. I don't know that there's anything he can do to put himself in those top 3 contenders just because I said he doesn't start with the ball unless he starts getting handouts from Tronky and throwing touchdowns. But yeah, he'll remain my dark horse. And I mean, we called this and them as dark horse favorites at the beginning of this segment, episode 1. So I like to see that it's coming to fruition. I like underdog stories. Everyone talked mad shit about the Bucks, and they're proving a lot of people wrong. So I hope to see them succeed in the near future.
Except against us.
Except against you. You know what? Fuck you guys.
Fuck you. Hey, so now let's move on to one of our next segment, which is upset of the week. Last week we hit them both on the money.
2-0. Okay.
2-0. 2-0. I'm 2-0 on the season. On upsets of the week. You are 1-1 on the season. What the upset of the week is when the owners do the pick'ems and they pick one team sweep and we pick one of those games that's gonna go the other way. This week, my upset of the week, I got the Packers over the Raiders. I feel like the Raiders have been spiraling down. I mean, bro, we beat them last week. As you know, I had 2 tier 6s and a tier 2 and a tier 4. And we were able to come down and win that. I think the Packers, I mean, I feel every week like the Packers are going to turn it around and then they go 0-3, you know? But I feel like they get ball first. And I don't know. I really do think that they pull up the upset and I think they beat the Raiders. What about you?
That's going to be an ugly game of
of course.
And it's not because of anything. It's just because Drew is not a natural quarterback. That's not his original position. So granted, he's not going to be the most successful QB. And then Raymond is not an elite quarterback. I love Raymond. He's a great football player. He's just not elite.
That's awesome.
He's not elite compared to what we're talking about these top quarterbacks. When you talk Joan, Beaky, Eddie, you know, he's not in that conversation. But it's not to say he's not a good quarterback because he has a fucking cannon. And
no. And he's been playing for so long.
A long time.
And look, I mean, honestly, Raymond can come and throw 4 straight touchdowns like he did against us.
I was gonna say he did it against you guys.
Their one win was against us, and they beat us in 10 minutes, and it was 4 bombs, and it was 4-2. And it was like, what the fuck just happened? You know?
I hate those.
And it happens. They happen. Yeah. And they hit us in the mouth, and we couldn't respond. So nothing, man. I got them beating the Raiders.
I like that pick.
Who do you got as your upset of the week?
I got Cowboys over Colts, even though they're going 5 hard with no Andy. I like Peter. I like Flacco. I like Ernie on the field at all times. Little Lewis, he's quiet, but he's a good player. He's scrappy. He's gonna, be engaged and give you everything. He doesn't have that solidified voice, or he's not like a well-known individual in red zone or flag as a whole. He just plays with his boys, but he's going to give you everything. So those are the kind of guys that you want on your team, that they're really quiet and they're trying to they have a chip on their shoulder because no one really knows them, and they're trying to prove that they're good football players and let me show you what I can do, and they're going to give you everything. So I think this is a tough week for them. They need to win. I believe they're in 5th or 6th place, so right on the bubble for the playoffs. This is an important week. It puts Peter at quarterback at all times, but I'm sure they'll do some gimmicky shit. And do
Oh
some
yeah,
weird
when
shit
they
and get the
don't,
ball
yeah,
moving, you know,
they
because
do
if the ball
side
doesn't,
snaps,
yeah,
they do all that stuff.
if they're not able to get points on the board with a traditional offense, I don't know what kind of role they've been running because Peter wasn't there last week. But if they're not able to get points with whatever they're doing, I'm sure they'll start running something gimmicky. And like I said, Ernie is a tryhard. That guy's gonna fucking go crazy on the field. Flaco también. That guy, you should have seen him pacing like a fucking serial killer after they tied against us last week because they were up
They had
3-1.
you guys. I
He
know
looked
they
like
had
he
you
was
guys.
gonna kill somebody. He was like
Yeah.
clenching his fist, walking up and down like the tents. I was like, oh my god, let me get away from this guy. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
Binga. So I got them. They're a scrappy team. They need to get big W's. I got Cowboys over Colts.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, let's see if you get over 500 and I stay undefeated.
Let's see. Let's
All
see.
right, my brother. Moving on to last week, we won actually.
We won the duel.
We won the duel because all we do in this show is win, right?
Yes, sir. We won the
So
duel.
we won the duel, and so talk to me. What do you like about this duel? This duel lineup.
So we got my co-host at quarterback.
Yes,
My
sir.
co-host
I'm bringing it.
has been putting up numbers. I don't know how he did it last week. He went 2-1. I wanted to mention that. That was highly impressive. We won't get into it, but salutations,
I appreciate you. I did it for the peoples. I did it for
like
the peoples.
So we got
if you
Devin
want to hear if you want it real quick, if you want to hear about it, just jump on All the Smoke on IG and you'll see me talking mad shit with no voice.
So we got Devin getting the band back together with Georgie and Pat. So I know there's going to be a lot of familiarity there. We're going to have a lot of touches and a lot of completions. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of touchdowns. Hopefully not a lot of picks. And then you have Georgie.
I only have 2 this season. Relax, bro.
I'm just saying, hopefully.
I've been better. I've been better.
Hopefully. And then we got Georgie, which, like I mentioned, he made the transition from the Jets to the Ravens. He's now getting the band back together with Devin and Pat. The Beatles are getting a reunion that everyone wanted. So he's going to get a lot of touches. He's the yak guy on every team regardless. Georgie's always the underneath guy, so we know how he's going to eat.
He's going to eat with catches. Yeah.
Manny C is Manny C. The guy is
show up, man.
He needs to show up and do something. Otherwise, he's going to get demoted to tier 3. And I'm sure that's not a good look for him, for Sportsmanias, for Más o Menos, for none of the gang. So I predict a big week from Manny C when he finally shows up for 3 games. Then we got Freddie S coming in. Freddie S is with the Colts, and so David needs to.
No, he's not. No, he's not. He's with the Cardinals.
I'm sorry, he moved with the Cardinals. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about our game against. So I'll be honest. That's Cheeky's number 1 guy right there.
Correct.
So
I agree.
Nothing really that Cheeky could get going unless it's through handoffs and start running the fucking ball crazy. So I anticipate Freddie getting a lot of touches. At tier 4, we have Alex G from the Dolphins. That guy is fast.
Yeah, he's a mismatch. He's a
mismatch. I'm probably gonna have to guard that guy in our game. So hopefully he gets all his points in the first 2 games.
There's 2 games. Yeah.
Touchdowns.
If you're up 3-0 though, we let him slide one.
We need some cramping, start the game on the sideline, do something. And then we have Mr. Angel. Angel came through.
Did he live himself?
He came through. I like that little bump that he caught on my boy Raj. Beautiful entrance to DD Live. Dun, 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 dun. And him running up to the medals in fucking slow motion. Angel, give us some more. Let's go. Listen, UM season is over, Bobby. Somos unos muertos. I love us to the death. I got Obi and the fucking Ibis on my calf. To the death, Papo forever. But this season's a wrap. That's it. Call it a day.
100%.
They can vote yourself to your team. Win best tier 5. I don't know if it's even possible anymore. But let's go. Pila, energize the money. Tira, bimbangana.
Yeah.
And tier 6, Gay Best. Gay Best. Yeah. Papo, do something with that man, please.
I will. He's got good mismatches this week. So I'm gonna move.
Only $2 and we're at week 4.
I know.
Gabe,
I know.
You're letting me down, brother. You're letting me
down. He's got this. All right, my brother.
We're at your favorite part.
This is my favorite part. This is my favorite part. I'm gonna let you take the
reins today, brother, because we're not even gonna speak about my ticket last week.
So we're not gonna talk about you. That's fine. But I went 4-0 last week. I'm 7-3 on the year. Let's get it. This week, I'm taking Boise State with 3 and the hook, so 3.5. I'm going to take Kansas State with 3 and the hook again. And then I'm going to take Indianapolis +3. They play Tennessee. Tennessee killed them 2 weeks ago at their place. So it's one of those revenge factors. Yeah. I really like the Colts this week. I'm going to take the Jags and the Giants over 41. I think, believe it or not, as crazy as that sounds, both those offenses can move the ball. Yeah. And all we need is 41 there. So I really like that play. And then I'm going for a teaser. For those that are new to betting, what a teaser is that you pick 2 teams and you're allowed to use 6 points, right? And you can deduct that from whatever point spread is at the game. So for example, this week I picked the 2 teams. I picked the Dolphins and the Patriots, right? The Dolphins play on Sunday night. The Patriots play on Monday night. And the Dolphins spread is -7 and the Patriots spread is -8. So you deduct each game by 6 and you got the Dolphins -1 and the Patriots -2. Now you have to win both bets in order to win the teaser. But I like my chances. Yeah. So it's like a mini parlay, but you get, obviously the odds are a little less.
A little point.
And yeah, man, I'm going to take that teaser, the Dolphins and the Pats, as my 5th pick. Come on. You're bouncing back this week. I feel it. What you got?
All right. So I'm taking it light this week, my brother. I want nothing to do with too many crazy plays. I got Penn State -3.5 versus Minnesota. I got Washington -7.5 at Cal. I know that sounds crazy away. Cal has been playing terrible football. I got Washington taking that game. Then I got the Detroit Lions +7 versus the Cowboys.
Oh, Dak's back.
Yes, I don't care. They should have kept a belly rojo. They're gonna fuck it up. Watch
Cooper Rush.
That's my words. Keep Cooper Rush. How you don't fix something that's not broken? What did the guy do?
I agree.
What did he do for you? I get it. You got to put your starter back in. But Detroit's been in a lot of close games. They
always cover, bro.
Come back from trailing in I think more than half of their games this season.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the Lions. I'm keeping it to 3 plays this week. I can't extend my losing streak further than that. That's all I'm confident in.
That's fine, bro. Listen,
as you can tell, Dimes has got it.
We good. We're giving out 8 winners this week. It's all good.
8 winners. I like that.
All right, my brother. Anything else you want to add?
Johan, if you're watching this before tomorrow, 11:59, I gave away my 3 points tickets. I'm not going to 3 points. I devoted everything in this season to a star and the G-Goals. But if anyone gets an offer from Johan for me, I'll be at 3 points on Friday till 6 in the morning. On that note, I'm out.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit. Sometimes win. Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit. Sometimes lost.